So basically we recorded Some Folks Know as representation of the band and how the band's basically been the last probably like 6 years now with the current lineup. But we hadn't had that, like that actual lineup had been on the records before, but because the last few were more like folky, more focused on the songs than the actual having like the band arrangements. The guys were still on the record, but not in the same way that we play live. So we really wanted that. Yeah, so my buddy Ben Summer, who's a great songwriter, he opened up a studio in Hamilton. And we went out there to check it out, to just get the feel of it, record one song. And we just loved it. There was it was a great environment. I knew it was going to be a great working environment. So we booked, I think we booked 4 days to go out there, and essentially, like with a lot of the other records, essentially just record live off the floor. Like do some overdubs after, but we really wanted to capture that energy that we have on stage.
Let's take the time to cry, give you something better for your mind. Oh man, that sun is burning up my head. I remember when you were like a lovely song, didn't take much to get along, but now you feel underfed. There's a dream someone told me about, made fast mistakes in slow motion somehow. You said it's like that every day if you run away. Only one thing I gotta say.
So yeah, I did all the vocals live and my guitar parts. And yeah, essentially the band, like the core of the band on that record is live. There's a few things that we added, like piano, some backing vocals, tambourine. But really, we just went in, hit record, do a few takes of each song. And a lot of times we ended up keeping the first one just because that was, a lot of times when you go to track a song the first time around, the first take, you're always knowing that you can do it again if you screw up. So you don't think about it as much. I find the more takes you do, you overthink it, and it just ruins the song for me. At least for my music, and that's the thing with me. Like I know what works for me. I know the way I want it. I don't want to spend 6 months making a record. I mean, maybe years from now I'll want to, have my Sgt. Pepper, but for now I'd rather just get songs on tape, like document where I'm at. And yeah, the songs on the record, a few of them were very new. One particular, If You Run Away, I believe I wrote it basically right before we went in. But then there's other songs, Motel Letter Blues, Don't You Fret, they've been around. Don't You Fret we started playing when Dan joined the group and shortly after James was in the band too. But they were songs that I like when I made You, Me and the Horse and Traveling Gray, which were more acoustic based, or at least partially acoustic. I knew those songs weren't going to translate well. I mean, they sound great just playing acoustic, but I knew, from playing it with the band, I knew that it would be serving its full potential ability if I just, played it, bashed it out on the guitar put it out. So there were songs that I held off recording because I just knew they were destined for this, for a full band record. So we were pretty well rehearsed for most of that record before we went in, because we just been playing the songs so much live. Yeah, in December 2011, I put out a mini record that was more rock and roll, I played electric on the whole thing, which I hadn't played any electric on record or live since the second album. So I feel that mini record was a great transition from something like Traveling Gray, which was half band and half like more acoustic, and then Good Old Days Are Back in Drag was very, very rock and roll, and so it was nice leading up to that, leading up to recording Some Folks Know, and making it a real great. I essentially think it's a rock and roll record. I like changing the songs up anyways. Even like even some of the songs on Some Folks Know we're playing a little differently now. They're, yeah, it's just, I think that's great having the live show and album, and they're not the same at all, it's like, if we played everything like the record note for note, it just, what's the point in seeing this live,
The dead of sin.